Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play GearCity with me, Alpha Pi Omega and Republic Motors. So this is the second intermezzo that we have in our playthrough, the episode where we look at our company as a whole and try to see how we're doing. So I'm gonna start by going to the showroom because I'd like to look at the vehicles that we have and look at their history. So we started with the 19.2 Natalia. This is the first car that we have ever made. Isn't it cute? It's so old, but yeah, it was our first car. Then we had the 19.3 version, which finally used the dual lights and had better rear view mirrors. There was a 19.5 version that added the rear bumper. And then we had a massive upgrade to the 1908 version, which was a step forward. Then came Natalia 1911, which was an upgraded version of the 1908. And the next big change came in 1906, when Natalia was again redesigned. 1916, not 1906, 1916. And it was split into two versions. We had Natalia 1916G and Natalia 1916P, the gold version and the platinum version. And then in 1917 came a new version of Natalia's, just an updated trim. And in 1920 came the brand new version of Natalia's, which is the one that we're using now. It's a step forward, it's lower based, it has smoother lines, it uses free lights, tri-lighting, I guess we could call it. It has better rear bumper, and I think it uses new engine as well. It has 30 horsepower compared to 29 and a bit more torque, so it's the same engine. But Natalia 1920 can go up to 60 miles, while the original one could do 57. So that is a decent upgrade. The new car that we started quite recently, actually in 1917, was Giulia, a microcar, a very cute microcar made for people as an affordable alternative. It can go up to 46 miles per hour. It weighs 953 kilograms, which actually, that's Victor, which is actually more than the weight of Natalia, which is really a phaeton to enjoy. And after the 1917 version, we had the 1920 Giulia, which is looking really chic and really modern and can go up to 50 miles per hour with a weight of 953 kilograms. But Natalia, even though it looks a bit more alien, it's faster, more lightweight, and, has less cargo, but weighs a lot less and has a way better fuel consumption. So, yeah, its design or looks, but damn, Giulia is looking really good, I have to say. Another model that we used to design was the second model that we ever had, was Rudolph. 1905 looks like this. Then came the 1907 updated trim. Then came a 1911 version, which was a redesign. And then another version came in 1916, which was another redesign of the vehicle. This one is looking fairly modern. I like it. And it's currently the version that we are using right now. No other version of this car was made. Then we can look at Victor. Victor is a Touring, a really nice Touring, which was updated in 1911. And then a new version of Victor came in 1917. Again, the gold and platinum version, same as with Natalia's. Then we have the model Vlado. Vlado was a 1910 truck that was really nice. Updated in 1911. And that one was produced all the way to 1916, where we had a newer version. Yeah, this one looks way more modern. And I believe there are no more versions of Vlado. Nope, no more. And the newer car we have as a platinum brand, a very, very good brand, won a number of awards, actually won 5 regional and 5 global, and 2 for the best vehicle, but it was a commercial failure, and I think we currently have no new version. Yeah, it's still in design, so we're gonna see. But this is like a premium brand. We sell these to presidents and senators and, you know, people like that. And I think that's actually all the models that we have. Yeah. So these are the cars, all of the cars that we have designed and produced, and that we are currently using and producing. We have new models and cars in the pipeline. We're gonna have a van, and we're gonna have more new sports car, and we're gonna have probably new updated versions of cars coming out. We have the Julia and Natalias that we are going to design. Well, we designed them and they are going to sell now, but we'll see. It was actually tricky because I am aware that the 1920 version of Natalia is worse than the 1917. Not as much as performance, but there are some major differences in the cars, so we'll see. We have the actual design of... Wait, we're gonna stay in the showroom, but we have the actual, what's it called? No, the actual diesel engine. I forgot the name, diesel. So we have a diesel engine coming. So let's look at the components. These are all the components that we have. Let's look at the types. So the chassis. At this point, the best chassis that we had, or the most used one, was the ladder. Still not surpassed by the spine, which is kind of interesting. We designed it in 1902 and was used even for the New Yorker in 1914. The spine is used for more models, and it's almost there. We produced 57,000 ladders, and we are currently at 48,500 spines. Samsung's being used only for trucks and now for Rory as well. The new van that we're making are a disparate line. We pretty much unified all of our designs to fit the spine, which is kind of interesting, I have to say. Okay, then we have the chassis supercar, which is in production. That's going to be the third that we're going to use. Interesting. Okay, then the engines. We have the Bonfire, which is being produced. That's going to work with the supercar, sports car design. And then we have the engines Flame, Flame Mark II, Locomotive Match, Match Mark II, Spark, Spark 4, Spark 4 Diesel, and then we had the Mark II and the Mark III. I really screwed up on the name. Well, what can you do? Which one is the most used? Or, wow. Actually, Spark Mark II and Spark Mark III, we produced 35,000 and 31,285 of those. The rest are not that used. They get to tens of thousands. That's interesting. Way more engines than chassis sees. In the gearboxes, well, we have a Champion here. That's the manual, as the new one, as being used by most of our cars. We had the Junior, which was used for Natalia's, Rudolph, actually Natalia's and Rudolph's only. And then the fuel saver is, oh, actually no, it goes manual, then the fuel saver, which was used just for Rudolph and Natalia, but those alone made of 29,000 units is the word, and the Junior comes third, and then there's the Muscle and Sire. That's interesting. It's a bit different than what I expected. Okay, and now let's go and look at our statistics. Those are going to be more interesting. So city sales. Which city is the most profitable? It's Chicago. Chicago gives us the biggest profit. Then comes New York. But New York, well, actually, let's go with revenue. New York is the most, gives us most revenue. Then comes Chicago and London and Philadelphia, each giving us 1 million in just 1 month. But New York and Chicago are also production cities. So is Philadelphia. Then comes Paris. Then comes Baltimore, Cleveland. It's looking pretty good. St. Louis is very unprofitable, but that's because we have a huge production there. Are there any cities with a loss? Atlanta. Really? We're not doing many sales there. Missed sales. I guess they're too far. They're not getting enough cars supplied to them. So that's the problem. Same with New Orleans. We're paying $10,000 for that city. And we have, okay, so I definitely need to increase production, but we're upgrading some of our factories. So that's going to be taken care of. Now, vehicle sales. Yeah. We're finally getting rid of the Natalias. We're selling 8 of them per month. So once we get those out, we're just going to close these 2. The New Yorkers are selling still. Rudolphs, Lados. Interesting. Which is the most sold? Julia and the Natalias. Okay, and here we have the vehicle sales production. Inventory chart, we don't need that. District sales. So North America is still our most profitable. Europe is coming second in everything, but that's okay. Now revenue summary. So yeah, we're having most of our revenue from vehicle sales. Actually, all of it. Licensing, we're not doing that. Stock holding, dividends, revenues, we don't need because we're not a commercially traded company. Now expenses. Let's see the expenses. So construction cost, $3,612,000. We're upgrading the factories. Then $3.5 million goes to materials. So we're actually building so much now that it's almost as much as the cars that we are using. That's really good. We need to invest more into our factories. Remember, a decade ago we said that we want to increase the share and production greatly. So we're going to see today how well we did on that. Factory. Okay, some of our factories are experiencing a bit of a wear and tear. Most of our factories are going around 60% production. In Philadelphia is at 35% because we just upgraded it. So that needs to be dealt with. Cost per units. It's also interesting to see. Frankfurt, Germany. Yeah, it's being... is there somewhere the explanation to this? Nope. That one needs to be finished. Operation revenues. Branches. Cost per unit. Atlanta. Damn, I don't know what this is. Branch cost, total expenses. Oh yeah, this is how much we... Okay, so how much overhead we have per car. So the best is Philadelphia and New York. Then it goes down, and the worst ones are Atlanta, Minneapolis, places where we don't do that many sales. And we try to keep it below 1,000, so this is pretty good. We have only a couple of cities, so we need more production. That's really what this is telling me. Racing, we have nothing. Marketing. So London, we're spending over $5,000. New York, Chicago, Paris, and Philadelphia. And the rest is just normal. Marketing efficiency, abysmal. Okay, well, we're investing way too little. Employee breakdown. Okay, this is not that important. Pension payments, we're not doing that. Total delivery cost. Average sales price. Outsource contracts. So we see this every month. But let's look at the quarterly. So the changes. Yeah, well, we increased our we increased the revenue or the sales by 19 million, which is a 225% change, but that's because the actual war has stopped us from producing, so these numbers don't really match. Annual, yeah, we increased our production by 152%. Labor skills, abysmal, horrible, abysmal, below average engineering ability. Oh, getting better. Yeah, but research abilities, administrative skills, not that great. Prestige, okay. So yeah, we're the best as far as image goes. We are 5th in luxury. We have best performance of all companies, and we have the highest quality. Okay, so we're really a premium brand. That's good to know. Vehicle class market share. Okay, so this is how much do we have in each of the segment. Okay, so in pickup trucks, wait, let's go like, this doesn't really work. Why? That's weird. Okay, never mind. Let's just go. So in pickup trucks, we have 2.2% of the market. In phaetons, we have 2.6%, which is interesting because Natalia should be way, well, it's just we're producing too little. Tourings, we have 2.9%. In compact cars, though, we're producing almost 10% or 9.5% of the cars. So expansion there is very good. In town cars, we have 0.3%, and in sedans, we have 0.9%. So sedans are there's a big untapped market. Top 50 all-time sales. I don't think we're here anywhere. Though it might be some of the Natalias might be here. No. Nope. Okay, none of our cars are in there. Wait, if we worked like this, yeah, if we got into top 50 of compact cars with Giulia 1917 in phaetons. Damn. Okay, 1911 Natalia is here on the second page. Nothing more. Yeah, and here are the 1917s and 1916s. Good. If they were calculated together, they would be way higher. So we're going there. What was the car where we had such a huge... Was it the compact car? It's Giulia. So when we look at the market shares in vehicle sales in compact car. Okay, we're on the first page, 7,000, but Bellis's Pittington sold 54,000 units. Okay, and then there's the market cap table. Market cap. So let's see how we're doing. We were really low last time. Oh, this is the publicly traded company, so we won't be here. Now let's look at the all-time market share. Okay, I don't see anything here. Let's just... Can we kill everyone and see what our market share is? And if it's increasing. Okay, it was highest in 1917 and then it started dropping. Right now we have 1.2%, but it's better than we were doing in 1910. We had 0.8. So we managed to quickly increase our market share. We need more production. That's that's just what it is. I'll have to really focus on that, build more factories. We have good cars, we're able to sell, but yeah, from here to down here, that's really bad. Recent world market share. So we're here, 1.1%. Therapia has 6.5. Actually, they also lost quite a lot of market share, didn't they? Yeah. They dropped all the way to... They had 28% at max, and now they have 1916. That's interesting. Quite a lot of the companies might be bankrupting. You can see... Well, no. The smaller ones are increasing while the bigger ones are tanking. Monthly revenues. Not that. Yearly profit losses. This is important for us. Nice. Okay. So this really tells us that we're doing something good. 1914 was one of our most... actually, no. 1913 was our most profitable year before the World War, with 40 million in revenue and 41 million in expenses. And 1919, we had 105 million in revenue, almost 106 million in revenue, and 80 million in expenses. So not only did we greatly increase our market share, well, actually, we're just keeping up with the general public, increasing slightly, but yeah, the revenue is just going through the roof. Yearly profit losses, oh, that's what we looked at. Vehicle sales charts in the last 12 months. Yeah, it's just stable. We need to keep increasing this. And net worth. Most of our net worth just comes from cash. Yeah. 2/5 of our net worth is cash. That's really, really bad. Okay, but I'm happy with the development. We really just need to get a bit more production. I think we might actually go and expand on the East Coast. Yeah, Los Angeles and San Francisco would make it worth our while. We can open a branch in San Diego. Could we go all the way to Houston and Dallas? No, they're too small. And we're planning a big expansion in Europe when this factory in Frankfurt is going to be ready in 10 months. That's going to cover a whole lot of new territory. And I think my idea was also to go into Japan, because there are some really interesting cities here, but the problem is we really would need a super cheap car. I would have to design a whole new car just for Japan, make it as cheap as possible, and sell it there. Can we see who's selling in Tokyo, for example? Dai Hot. Yeah, they have really cheap cars here for awful prices. Some cars are being sold there. What if we checked Africa? I wonder if someone is active in Africa. Nope. No company is active in Africa. Not Port Elizabeth. And Cape Town, nope. That's too low. What about Prague? No, that's Katowice, Prague. And there's a lot of companies there. But not selling all that well. Well, okay, so goal for the next decade is the same. Greatly increase the production and get to at least... We were at 2%, so let's make that another target. We just want to get to 2% and higher. And that's actually it. I have one more thing to actually mention that I'm thinking about, because I started on a normal difficulty because I wanted to get my legs wet in the game again. And now that we did, it seems the game is a bit too easy. So I'm thinking about jumping forward, like ending the Let's Play in a 1930 and starting a new Let's Play on hard. It might be a good idea, for example, an interesting scenario to start in Japan in 1945, right after the Second World War, and creating a solo Japanese company. Or maybe, starting in France or South America, somewhere, not that easy, and making it up, from the hard standpoint of view, because that would be more of a challenge. So let me know what you think about that. If you'd like that idea, I would like that idea too. So anyway, that's all for the 1920 intermezzo. And in the next episode, we're gonna continue just going forward and seeing what we can do. So see you in the next episode.